learners, this is Nusrat Jahan Mo, lecturer, Open School, Bangladesh Open University. Today I am going to discuss linking words or connectors, which you are going to find at your English second paper book of our SSC syllabus at Unit 10, Lesson 1, 2, 3 and 4. So, first of all I am going to discuss what is a linking word or what is a connector. So, the name suggests connector. What does a connector do? A connector connects. So, what does it connect? It connects phrases or clauses together. Sometimes it connects sentences. So, how does it connect it and how does it work? These today I am going to discuss. Okay. So, sometimes when we speak or when we write something, we use these connectors or linking words to keep the cohesion or keep the link in between sentences, clauses or phrases. So, what are the connectors? I am going to give you some example. Suppose as a result, furthermore, despite, for example, however, as a consequence, even though, finally, therefore, but, next, in fact, of course, in brief, on the other hand, on the contrary, etc. are called linking words or connectors. These work as connectors to connect phrases, clauses and sentences. So, you can say that a connector works as a conjunction to add two or more words, phrases and clauses together. So, now I am going to give you two examples to make the things more clear. Okay. I forgot the cake was in the oven. As a consequence, it burnt. I forgot the cake was in the oven as a consequence, which means as a result or because of that it happened. So, as a consequence in this sentence, this is working as a connector or as a linking word. The next example I am going to give you. Even though the book is difficult to read, it is very interesting. Even though, jodio, this even though is working as a connector or as a linking word. This is linking between these two clauses. The book is difficult to read, it is very interesting. Okay. So, now I am going to discuss the kinds or the types of linking words or connectors. So, usually there are three kinds of linking words or connectors: coordinating conjunctions or coordinators, subordinators and transitions. So, first I am going to discuss about coordinating conjunctions or coordinators. So, coordinating conjunctions or coordinators are the most common kind of linking words or connectors that you are going to find out. It sits in the middle of the sentence and joins two independent clauses together. I hope you understand what is an independent clause. An independent clause can act as a sentence, but it is a part of a sentence. If I give you an example, things will be more clear. Good teachers work hard and they organize their lecture effectively. Good teachers work hard. This is a part of this sentence, but this can work as an independent sentence if there is no other part in the sentence. So, this part of the sentence is called an independent clause. This is a clause and this can act as an independent sentence. So, this is an independent clause. So, in this sentence and, this and is working as the coordinating conjunction, which is joining these good teachers work hard and they organize their lecture effectively between these two independent clauses. So, there is a chotto way to find out these coordinating conjunctions in a sentence. So, this way is called fanboys, F-A-N-B-O-Y-S. So, what is a fanboys, you can ask me. So, fanboys, there is an elaboration of each letter of these fanboys. F stands for, F-O-R. A stands for and. N stands for nor. B stands for but. O stands for or. Y stands for yet, and S stands for so. So, if you find these fanboys in the middle of a sentence and which works as the connector between two independent clauses, you will find out this is a coordinating conjunction or coordinator. If I give you another example, things will be more clear. If I tell you the office is closed for 2 days, but you can still phone to leave a message, this but is working as a coordinating conjunction or coordinator in this sentence, or you can say this is a connector. So, the first kind of connector or linking word is gone. Now, I am going to discuss about the second kind of linking word or connector, which is called subordinators. Subordinators are that kind of linking words or connectors which are used to join an independent clause and a dependent clause in a sentence. So, I hope you know that in a complex sentence you find one dependent clause and one independent clause. So, I have already discussed what is an independent clause. Now, you can ask me what is a dependent clause. So, there are some sentences where you can find out there is a portion which is dependent on another portion. Suppose if I tell you, if you come, I will go. This I will go is an independent portion, but this is depending on that if you come. But if you come, this portion cannot act as an independent part, or you cannot say that if you come, this is a sentence. This is not a sentence, but I will go, that can act as a full sentence. So, it is called an independent clause, where if you come is a dependent clause. So, subordinators are this kind of coordinating subordinators are this kind of linking words or connectors which join a dependent clause with an independent clause to make a full sentence. So, if I give you the example that when the bell rang, the students ran to the SkyTrain station. When the bell rang, when this word is used as a linking word or connector, or you can say as a subordinator in the sentence, and on this part the students ran to the SkyTrain station is dependent. There is a rule of using subordinators. What is the rule? The rule is if you are using the dependent clause and the subordinator at the first half of the sentence, you are supposed to put a comma after the dependent clause and the independent clause will come later to make a full sentence. But if you use the independent clause first, there will be no comma and you can put the subordinator and the dependent clause in the later part. So, the previous sentence, if I tell you in this way, the students ran to the SkyTrain station when the bell rang, there will be no comma in the sentence. So, I hope this part, up to this part, you have understood what is a coordinating conjunction and what is a subordinator, and these are linking words or connectors. Now, I am going to give you more examples to find out how does a subordinator work. From these sentences or examples I am going to tell you, you are going to find out how does a subordinator stands or sits in the middle of or in the beginning of a sentence and connect clauses together. To indicate comparison and contrast, although, though, even if, while, whereas, these subordinators are used. The example is, although he is poor, he is honest. Although he is poor, after that I am putting a comma because this is a dependent clause as I told you earlier. and he is honest is an independent clause. So, to indicate cause, because, since, these subordinators are used. The example is, the teacher allowed her to leave the class since she was sick. So, since she was sick is a dependent clause, the teacher allowed her to leave the class is an independent clause. To show effect or result, so that, in order that are used. The example is, he enrolled in a driving school so that he could be a driver. To tell the condition, if, unless, provided that are used. The example is, I can go to the movies if I finish my homework. And do you remember the example I have given you a few minutes back? If you come, I will go. Here. To indicate time, after, before, as soon as, since, when, while, until, as are used. The example is, I will try to finish my homework before I go to the movie. So, subordinators, I hope you have understood it clearly. Now, I am going to discuss the last kind of linking word or connector, which is called transitions. So, what is a transition? Okay. Transitions are also called sentence connectors, because this transition is used to connect sentences. Suppose I am telling about a paragraph. What does a paragraph need to make? Introduction, supporting details, and conclusion. So, in between these introduction, supporting details, and conclusion, there are some connectors used to keep the cohesion or connection or cohesion in between the sentences. These type of linking words or connectors are called transitions or sentence connectors. So, there are many sentence connectors, and they are used to introduce, they are used to order, contrast, sequence ideas, theory, data, etc. Now, I am going to give you some examples to find out how does a sentence connector or transition work. So, to maintain sequence or chronology, firstly, at first, in the first place, at the beginning, in the beginning, to begin with, second, secondly, third, thirdly, fourth, fourthly, in between, in the middle of, in the end, at the end, lastly, at last, finally. To sum up, in conclusion, last but not the least, next, afterwards, after that, then are used. I am going to give you an example. I think things will be more clear to you. In order to open a bank account, you have to follow some steps. This is a sentence. Now, first you have to collect a form from the bank, then you have to fill up the form accordingly. After that, you need to submit the form to the manager. Finally, the manager will give approval to open a bank account for you. In this whole part, you are going to find out first, then, after that, finally. These are the words, these are the transitions which are keeping cohesion in between the sentences. So, these are called transitions or sentence connectors. Okay, transitions or sentence connectors are also used to provide additional information. So, and, additionally, besides, further, furthermore, specially, not only but also, moreover, both and, or, either or, neither nor, as well as, to, likewise, also, in addition, so on, apart from, similarly, again, these kind of transitions are used. I am going to give you an example now. Both Hassan and Habib obtained the same grade. Another example is, either she or her brother came here yesterday. Both Hassan and Habib, both and, either she or her sister, either or, these are working as the transitions or sentence connectors in the sentences. Sentence connectors are also used to give examples such as namely, for example, for instance, that is, to illustrate, as an illustration, to demonstrate, etc. are used to give examples. He is an expert in a number of areas such as mathematics, physics, chemistry, medicine, etc. Such as, these words are used here to give examples. So, these words such as are working as connectors in the sentence. Now, sentence connectors are also used to indicate contrast. On the contrary, instead, on the other hand, but, yet, still, while, whereas, though, although, even though, despite, in spite of, however, nevertheless, nonetheless are used to give to indicate contrast. The example is, the government has increased salary of employees. On the other hand, or on the contrary, it has increased the rate of tax on income. These on the other hand or on the contrary are used to give a contrast here. So, these are working as the sentence connectors or transitions. Sentence connectors are also used in comparison. Similarly, likewise, in the same way, than, as, dash as, so dash as, to, correspondingly, equally are used also. I am giving you an example to make it more clear. He is taller than his brother. This than is used to compare between him and his brother. Well, to express cause or effect, since, for, because, as, why, so that are used. Suppose I am telling you, I do not know why she is crying, this why is using as the transition or sentence connector in the sentence. To express results, so, therefore, hence, as a result, as a consequence, thus, consequently, eventually, so that, accordingly, now are used. The example is, the electricity has gone out, so we have to wait until it comes again. This so is working as the transition here. To express the purposes, as much as many as, so that, in order that, lest, so as to are used. The example is, the boy is studying hard so that, or in order that he can do well in the examination. So that or in order that are the sentence connectors here. To put condition, if, otherwise, unless, till, until, provided that, in case, as long as are used. The example is, if you call me, I will come to help you. So, dear learners, I hope you have understood the uses of linking words or connectors, coordinating conjunctions, coordinators, subordinators, transitions and sentence connectors. So, if you follow the video and if you practice your lesson, I hope things will be more clear. You are going to find these linking words or connectors at Unit 10, Lesson 1, 2, 3 and 4 of your SSC English second paper book. So, follow this video, practice the lesson. I hope things will be more clear. Thank you and all the very best.